Dead or alive, you're coming with me. No, dead or alive, you're coming with me. No, I'll come with you. You're probably saying, hey Jake, what are you doing reviewing a movie? This is because video games. Well, my day job on YouTube is a channel that talks about movies, so I think I'm more than qualified to talk about a movie. And I really want to talk about this one because it holds a special place in my heart. The original 1987 Paul Verhoeven classic Robocop is one of my favorite movies of all time. And now with this new reboot in 2014, I was very skeptical from the start. Very critical of every little thing that came out about it. I was cautiously optimistic. I wanted it to be good, but I didn't think it would be. And now that I get to finally talk about the movie that I've seen it, I can tell you that it was pretty good. It was actually really cool. I still can't get over that. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't wait to see it a second time. I did not think that would happen. I think this movie might actually be a victim of just kind of like, marketing. I don't know, like it just looks better in motion when you see it in the completed piece that is the movie. The trailers don't do it justice at all. The new Robocop tells the kind of familiar story of Detective Alex Murphy, a cop who is a good guy with a family, and he gets messed up, and then they turn him into a robot, and then he's Robocop, and he's awesome. And that, the core foundation of the original Robocop, is intact here. However, after that, there are quite a lot of differences, and I think they are actually good differences. What I think this new Robocop succeeded in is that, unlike other remakes like Total Recall, this was necessary. It had a story it wanted to tell. It wanted to take the franchise in a new direction. It had a different angle of the Robocop mythos to tell, and it did it very successfully. This Robocop movie, I'm sure you've probably heard, dwells very much on the man versus machine ideal and the moral dilemma of putting a man inside a machine, and how that factors in with current American society, and how there are robots and drones and stuff overseas and not here. And you know, that was very cool. And while I thought it was going to be very heavy-handed, and at times it is, and it's not as smart satirically as the old Robocop, it still is really cool, and it's refreshing to see it in a movie. And it's done so by some really killer characters. If we have Gary Oldman playing the doctor who makes Robocop, and he was fantastic, he's Gary Oldman. When he gets all shouty and yelly, doing his Gary Oldman thing, it's perfect. And we now have the hilarious, mushy Michael Keaton as the CEO of Omnicorp, and he is the man behind the idea of putting a man inside a machine because he wants the robots over on his territory. He wants robots in America. He wants to be able to sell them. And that is one of the core foundations of this movie, this Senate bill that is keeping robots from being used on home territory, on American soil, when overseas it's being used to protect all different countries and stuff like that. And Omnicorp and Michael Keaton's character wants a piece of that action on the home turf, so they create Robocop. But let's talk about the star of the show, Robocop himself, Alex Murphy. Joel Kinnaman, whatever the hell his name is, he was pretty good. He did a serviceable job of actually setting up being a likable character in the beginning, actually, honestly, more so than Peter Weller in the original Robocop. This was a real, tangible person who you got to see with his family, who you got to see him work with his partner beforehand, and it really felt kind of convincing. And then when he was a robot, it was even cooler. The transformation from Alex Murphy to Robocop was very significant in this movie, and I really liked it. There was actually a really shocking scene that revealed how he is now, like how he is inside the Robocop suit, and that was one of the most shocking scenes I've seen, and I did not expect it, and it was really awesome. And other than that, he's Robocop. He kicks ass. He runs around Detroit in a motorcycle that they didn't explain why, but it looks just like his face. But he does Robocop things, and it's great. The action is a lot of fun, and it is serviceable, and it's not too heavily reliant on CGI. For the most part, I found it pretty enjoyable. And Robocop himself, the suit, the black suit, actually, like I said in the beginning of the review, actually looks much better in the movie when you actually see it. Pictures and posters and everything don't do it justice. He looks very wimpy. In the movie, he still is a very weighty, slow, not really slow at all, but just a weighty, deliberately motioning character. And I thought it was translated very well. He's a robot. He's still fucking Robocop. It's so cool. The visual effects, though, overall weren't too intrusive. You know, I saw some previews where I didn't really like how all of a sudden he just started turning into a CGI guy. There are some low-budgety parts like that, but overall it's really cool. But the action scenes are very good. They're a lot of fun with awesome music, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. It's just cool. That's just the word to describe it. It's really cool to see a robot guy shoot things and do cool robot things. It's cool. Now here's how I judge movies like this, like superhero movies and just movies that I have a lot of stake in, you know, my childhood and my things that I like that are, you know, of this nature. I judge it based on chills that I get. Now, for example, when I see a Spider-Man movie and I see him swinging through the air and it's just how I imagined it on screen when I was a kid, I get chills. Kind of like nostalgia chills or something like that. And now Robocop, it actually got me with the chills. I didn't think that was going to happen. There's a scene in the movie when he busts into a drug factory and he starts shooting everyone in the place. And it is exactly like the scene in the original Robocop when he busts in the drug factory, he shoots the guy just behind him and like that. And it was really cool. And it was just so perfect and so reminiscent of the original while still managing to be its own new thing that wasn't shitty. Made me totally love it. I do love how the movie is its own thing, and I like that it is a different take on the Robocop idea. And I love how it sets out to do these things while also respecting the original, keeping core things from the original, giving fans little nods and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. And overall, I think the best thing that this movie did was keep it small. It didn't try and do this big, ridiculous shit. It's a very contained story. It does not set it up for a sequel, really. It is just a good, open and shut, decent Robocop movie. It's a lot of fun, and I'm probably gonna get it on Blu-ray and watch it again. And I'm still so surprised to say that, but I am really happy. And overall, I really hope this sets a precedent for other movies that are remade. You know, don't just try and do the same thing, or just don't try and do the same thing and make it cooler. Do your own thing. This new Robocop succeeded because it had a new script and it did what it wanted to do with it. While it might not be perfect, there are some flaws, and like I said, it is a little heavy-handed. It still was really good, and it succeeded for fans of the original, and I hope newcomers to the series. What I'm excited about with this new Robocop, I really hope kids will see it and think he's really cool, because I saw this new Robocop and I thought he was awesome. He was really cool. So I hope that translates to kids from today. I'm like, old man Jake, I hope the kids like it, excuse me. But really, guys, this was my first movie review. I'm gonna review movies sometimes when they're important to me, when I want to talk about them. I don't know. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think of my review. Do you agree with me? Did you like Robocop? Did you hate Robocop? I really want to talk about it with other fans of the series, so let me know. But as always, guys, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.